What if I told you one of the biggest geopolitical shifts in the energy market is happening right under our noses, and that we could show you exactly how to play it with just $1,000?
So let's get right to it. Imagine you have $1,000 ready to invest. How would you position that cash to actually take advantage of this massive change? This isn't just some thought experiment. We're going to walk through a real actionable playbook step by step.
All right, so what's the big deal here? Well, thanks to a recent easing of U.S. sanctions, something huge is happening. The world's single largest oil reserve, which has been on the sidelines for years, is getting put back into the global market.
And that's really the headline here. Venezuela, a country sitting on the largest proven oil reserve on the entire planet, is back in business. Now, this isn't some small market update. This is a seismic event for the whole energy sector.
Just look at that number. 300 billion barrels. That is the sheer scale of the prize we are talking about. It's a number so big it can give a nation incredible leverage on the world stage.
And to put that into perspective, check this out. Venezuela's 300 billion barrels absolutely dwarfs what the United States has, which is around 68 billion. This really shows you just how massive this resource is. But, and this is a big but, there's a catch.
See, it's not as simple as just turning on a spigot and letting the oil flow. There is a huge technical challenge here, and understanding this challenge is what separates the smart investors from everyone else just chasing headlines. So here's the problem. The oil in Venezuela is mostly extra heavy crude. You can forget that image of liquid black gold you see in the movies. This stuff is way thicker, almost like tar. You can't just pump it out of the ground the normal way. It takes a completely different kind of approach.
And that special approach requires these four things. You absolutely need advanced technology, you need very specialized drilling, you need something called steam injections to basically heat the oil up so it can even flow, and then you need a massive, specialized refining capability. This is not a one-company job. And this is where our whole investment idea really starts to click. Those four technical hurdles? Well, they point us directly to four essential companies that make up the backbone of this entire play.
Okay, first up we have the technology kingpin, SLB. You might remember them by their old name, Schlumberger. And let's be crystal clear, without their specific technology, none of this even happens.
So why are they so crucial? Well, SLB owns the critical tech for that steam injection I mentioned, and they have the brains to engineer the whole complex extraction process. To put it simply, without SLB, that 300 billion barrels of oil stays locked underground. That's what we call a necessity stock for this play.
All right, next on our list is the operator, the big player who's already there on the ground, Chevron. While a lot of other companies packed up and left Venezuela, Chevron stuck around, and that gives them a huge leg up.
Just think about it for a second. Chevron already has the licenses. They've got years and years of experience working in the country. They know the people, they know the geology. While everyone else has to start from square one, Chevron is basically ready to flip a switch. They're not the flashiest name, maybe, but in this game, they are as reliable as it gets.
Our third player is the logistical machine that turns all these plans into actual physical reality, Halliburton. You know, they don't always get the big headlines, but they're the ones who get the contracts.
Halliburton was the boots on the ground. They're the ones doing the drilling, cleaning up the wells, and managing the sheer scale of an operation like this. When the work actually begins, Halliburton gets very, very busy. And for a company like them, busy is a very good thing for the bottom line.
And that brings us to the final, crucial piece of this puzzle, Valero, the refiner. Because, getting the oil out of the ground is only half the battle. You've got to be able to turn that tar-like stuff into products people can actually use.
And this is what makes Valero's position so unique. Most refineries on the planet can't even handle this extra heavy crude. But Valero, they specialize in it. So when a huge new supply of cheap Venezuelan crude starts flowing, Valero's world gets a whole lot better. Their costs go down, demand stays high, and their profit margins, well, they just expand.
Okay, so we've got the opportunity, we understand the challenge, and we've identified the four key players. So how do we actually put that $1,000 to work? Let's get to the playbook.
Here it is. This is exactly how we'd put that $1,000 to work. And notice, it's not split 4 equal ways. This is very intentional. The biggest slice, $350, goes to Chevron, our reliable operator who's already there. The next $300 goes to SLB because their tech is a must-have. Halliburton gets $200 as the workhorse that gets paid when the drilling starts. And finally, $150 for Valero, our specialized refiner that stands to benefit from wider margins. Each piece of this portfolio is designed to capture a different, vital part of this whole opportunity.
And hey, speaking of value, if you're getting something out of this breakdown, do me a quick favor and hit that like button and subscribe to the Stock Market Mojo channel. It seriously helps us make more deep dives just like this one.
All right, now let's pull back for a second and look at the bigger picture. This play isn't just about Venezuela's oil. It's really about positioning for the long-term, global demand for energy.
The world's hunger for energy just isn't slowing down. I mean, just think about the insane amount of power needed for all these new AI data centers. Think about all the fuel needed for manufacturing and for shipping things around the globe. Getting access to a stable, massive reserve like Venezuela's isn't just a business move, it's a strategic move for long-term energy security.
And that really brings us to the core philosophy behind this whole strategy. This isn't about panicking and reacting to whatever the news says today. It's about understanding the deep fundamentals and getting yourself into position before everyone else. The market rewards preparation, not panic. For more explainers that help you position for what's coming next, instead of just reacting to the noise, make sure you're subscribed to the Stock Market Mojo YouTube channel. So, the big question I'll leave you with is this. With a playbook like this in hand, are you really prepared for the next big shift? Thanks for tuning in.